For 2.5 weeks, my scale didn't move. It bounced around the same 3 pounds and just parked. Now go read any GLP-1 forum at 11 at night and the comments all say the same thing pretty much. Your dose is too low, go up. So here's the question I actually had to answer for myself, and it's the one nobody prepares you for really. Was 5 milligrams done working? Or was I just impatient? I've got daily weigh-ins going back to May. I'll show you what they say. I'm 58, a service-disabled Air Force vet, 12 weeks into Zepbound through the VA. Started at 236 on May 16th. I'm at 214.2 this morning. That's 21.8 pounds. I'm not a doctor and I'm certainly not yours. I'm just a vet documenting his honest journey. All sources are in the description. Here's the setup. I'd been on 5 milligrams for about a month. The first 4 weeks on 2.5, I've dropped 8 pounds, and from everything I've read, that was mostly water. That's how it usually starts. Then on 5, I got down to 222.5 and the scale parked. Middle of June through the first few days of July, I bounced from 222.5, 225.5, where, 2.5 weeks, nothing. My dose was scheduled to go up to 7.5, so the question had a deadline on it. Do I stay or do I move up? The internet has two answers, both loud. One crowd says, climb the ladder, get to the higher dose as fast as your body will let you. The other crowd says, stay on the lowest dose, that works for as long as you can. Both of them are yelling. Neither of them are my pharmacist. So I did the thing I keep telling you to do. I didn't guess, I didn't touch it on my own. I brought it up with my pharmacist. Two things came out of that. First, she reminded me that 5 milligrams is the lowest maintenance dose, not a starter dose you're supposed to rush past. 2.5 is the starter, 5 is the floor of the real range. That mattered. It meant staying at 5 was a legitimate choice and not settling. And I've got to put a fence around that because it isn't true across the board. That 5 milligram floor is for weight. Zepbound also carries a separate approval for sleep apnea, and for apnea, the maintenance doses are 10 or 15, not 5. I carry a 50% apnea rating myself, so that one lands on me, and it's coming up on this channel. If apnea is the reason you're on this, 5 is probably not a place to park. Ask your provider which one they're actually treating you for. Second, when I stepped up before, the only side effect I got was a little constipation, and it cleared in under 2 days. So there was no tolerability reason to hold back. And that's the whole reason that the ladder exists in the first place. It isn't a speed limit somebody made up. The label says in plain language that you step up gradually to cut the risk of the gut effects, which also means it runs the other direction. If a dose is beating you up, the label's own answer is to consider going back down to a lower one. Up is not the only gear. So, on schedule, tolerating it fine, 5 a valid floor, but 7.5 the plan, I moved up, and again, I'd encourage you to talk that through with whoever prescribes for you and listen to their experience with these drugs, because mine has seen a lot more of this than I have. Now here's what I promised you. I went back through the daily numbers and the stall broke before I ever changed the dose. Still on 5 milligrams. July 4th, 222.5, July 9th, 220. The scale was already moving again on the exact dose the forums would have told me to abandon. I didn't move up to 7.5 until the 11th, so those 2.5 weeks of nothing weren't the dose failing. It was exactly what I talked about last time. A stall you feel is usually just water and noise, and 5 milligrams was working the whole time. It just didn't ask my permission first. And if you want proof the dose isn't the hero of this story, look at what happened right after I moved up. First week on 7.5 milligrams, 219.6, 219.6, 218.8, 219.2, 219.4, down about 1.5 pounds, and then the scale parked again. Same hover, one dose higher. The number on the pen changed, but the pattern didn't. And then it did the same thing it did on 5 milligrams. It started moving again. I'm at 214.2 this morning, so since that first week, the scale's given up another 5 pounds and change. So look at the shape of it twice. On 5, it parked for 2.5 weeks, then dropped. On 7.5, it parked for a week, then dropped 5. 2 different doses, same pattern, both times, which tells me the pattern belongs to my body and not to the number printed on the pen. And I'm not going to hide where I am now. I'm on 10 milligrams. So that fork I just walked you through, it came back around and I answered it the exact same way I did the first time. I brought my real experience to my pharmacist and we made the call together. That one gets its own episode. And no, I'm not celebrating 21, almost 22 pounds either. Ask me when I'm at 180 or below. So what do you do with this one? The fork is real. Move up on schedule or hold at a dose that's working. You're going to hit it. But the answer isn't more is always better. And it's not a decision you make alone at 11 at night reading a comment section full of strangers who don't know you or your body. You make it with whoever prescribes for you. Do not change your dose on your own. Not up, not down, not from some vial you found online. That's the one thing I won't budge on. A stubborn couple of weeks is not a broken dose. The higher number feels like doing something, and sometimes doing something is just impatience wearing a lab coat. Talk to your pharmacist or your doctor before you touch a milligram, please. This is not medical advice. Sources are in the description. And tell me down in the comments if you'd be so kind, did you move up because your body told you to or because the internet told you to? I want to hear it because somebody else sitting at that same fork tonight and they want to know. They need to know. That's the report for this week. No spin, no hype, just one vet telling you the truth about the dose decision nobody prepares you for. And remember, we don't leave our own behind. So God willing, I'll see you in the next one.